This one is called the pants.
This is a Funniest Thing follow-up with Darrell and Ed.
Yeah, it's a follow-up to the episode Let's Go Crazy.
I'm Darrell.
And I'm Ed.
And every time we do a show,
yes,
we get so excited. We pack so much into our online Unity online radio show that you can hear on iTunes or at unity.fm.
Yes.
That we always have some great stuff left over that we wish we shared on the show.
Yes.
And Ed had the best example that happened to him the day of the show about how praising transformed a situation.
Yes, that's true. And it happens to go perfectly with a little bit of, I'm going to read a little bit of today's daily word, which was happiness. And the affirmation for, if you want to get the daily word yourself, go to www.dailyword.com. The affirmation was, in this moment I am enough and I have enough to be happy. And it says here, I deserve happiness and I'm worthy of love. I'm joyful when I'm content with myself and connected to others. And then it goes on down here, it says, by forgiving myself and others, I clear away barriers to giving and receiving love. When I release the past, I choose happiness and freedom. I feel the love of God enfolding me. I trust my Creator withholds nothing good from me. I appreciate the blessings in my life and claim the good still unfolding. And then at the end it says, in this moment I am enough and I have enough to be happy.
Wait! This you know how our show is always by stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why praise, when we mean stepping out boldly, we don't mean just with bravado.
Yeah.
We mean with humility, trusting that God is in charge and we live in a very loving universe and we're always going to be met with what we put out. But doing that is easier said than done, because even though we know we live in a loving universe, it always feels like we have to step out boldly to really remind ourselves, no, God's in charge. And that's why the praising is stepping out boldly. And that story you told me the other day is so good to share.
And that's why stepping out boldly is actually, it's so funny that for us humans it seems so hard to be humble and let God be in charge. It's like we have difficulty at times stepping into our joy. That's what we're talking about. That's why being able to praise someone is an indicator that forgiveness is that I've let go of whatever it was
in
that
my
I was
own
holding
head.
on to. Yeah,
not even real.
Exactly. So yesterday when I was out surfing, I saw this fellow, and I had surmised over the last few months that he was teaching these other two guys who seemed like young professional, or maybe like my age or a little older, actually, professional, like lawyers or whatever they were, advertising guys, and they were learning to surf. And for some reason, the whole thing rubbed me a little wrong. I don't know why. Right?
I would do the same thing. Oh, look at this guy. What is he now?
Right.
Teaching those.
Yeah, and part of it is in the morning when I tend to surf and see these guys. That's when I'm still working the sticky parts of my own consciousness out. I'm not exactly always going crazy that early in the morning.
Right.
But yesterday, we are getting ready for the show, Let's Go Crazy. I had it in my mind, and the one thing I kept doing in the morning was saying to myself, and I'm just not even going to buy into whatever the negativity was in my head. Because I wanted to get to the point where I was really praising others and praising myself. But the first step was to just, I was tempted to beat myself up because I didn't feel like praising people. That's another thing. But I just kept saying, no, not going to believe in it, not going to buy into it. So anyway, we surfed, and I just happened to get out of the water at the same time as these three guys, 2 students and the teacher. So I'm sitting there on the wall, and all of a sudden I thought about our friend Michael Harney, who did the little trailer for the new season of Funniest Thing with us.
Yes.
In this very Camaro. So, and he was looking for an instructor for his son, and so I was thinking
for surfing.
Yeah, for surfing. Thank you. So I'm sitting there, the 3 guys. I'm waiting for the showers because I didn't want to get too close and personal because there's 3 guys and 4 little showers all around a pole. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I hear one of the students say something about the instructor and something positive about him, So I said,
so they were praising to begin with.
Yeah, they started praising him, and I said, I'm not going to hold on to this. This is what our whole show's about. I want to let go of this. And And the thing was, originally I had seen other instructors down there, and I was going to take a picture of their van. But this wasn't them. This was someone else. But you know what I said? I said, hey guys, because by this point the instructor had gone to his car. So I said to the two guys, I said, hey, is that your surf instructor? And they said, yeah. And the guy lit up. He's like, that guy is so amazing. We've only been surfing for 8 months. He's got us to the point where we go surfing on our own. You know, we're able to catch waves. We feel safe. He always gives us great tips. And then they were so positive, and they said, hey, what's your name? My name's Ishmael. This is John. You know, and he said, matter of fact, I'm going to introduce you to him myself. So I went up to this guy, and in my mind, in the past, I had seen him as like this arrogant guy. I don't know. I had these judgments of
we make up these stories. I do it too.
And I even had this weird, his face looked a certain way to me. But so Ishmael introduces me to this fellow named Jonathan.
This is the stepping out boldly.
Yes.
Because at any point during this, you could have easily went, no, that's okay, and stuck with your preconceived ideas of, I really don't want to get to know this guy. I already know what he's going to be like. Let me just, it's great meeting you two.
Yeah.
And then you take pictures of your surf vans like you originally thought, and I'll give this information to Michael. But see, this is the stepping up boldly. Like, am I going to go, like, here's the fork in the road. Do I continue and trust that maybe this is God's will? Let me roll with it?
Yes.
And see, I mean, it always has a better than expected outcome.
Yes, and more and more, God makes it very easy, because as soon as all I had to do was the one little step, get over myself and say, hey guys, is that your instructor? And it was almost like God stepped in through Ishmael, this guy, and said, you know, what's your name? I'm going to introduce you. So I get introduced to the instructor, and I swear, he didn't even look like the same guy. I can't even remember what I thought of him before. He was so friendly and so helpful. He let me know what the rates were. He gave me his card. He's just like, you know, he was so upfront.
Upfront, no like weird, like,
no bad energy at all.
First, and we'll come up with some sort of an arrangement.
Yeah, so kind. And the other thing was, the other small thing before I asked those guys about their instructor, the funniest thing happened. I heard the instructor say to those guys, you know, I just moved. I broke up with my girlfriend, so I'm moving on to this side of town, but I need more clients if I'm going to make that work. So there was already, God already planted the little seeds.
Isn't it funny how when we step up boldly too, it's almost like you get, all of a sudden it's like a positive conspire, it's like a conspiracy in a positive way. Like now Ishmael forced you to now go further.
Yeah.
Said, hey, I'm going to introduce you.
Yes. And it was awesome because I was able to say to the guy, people, I said, I don't know how you do it, man. People ask me if I can teach them all the time. And I said, I don't even know how to do it. He said, oh yeah, dude, I was the same way. It's taken me a while just to figure out a few little simple things and how I go about teaching them. And it was just, this is awesome. I forgot about this. Just like we said on the show about praise, Let's Go Crazy. Remember you were saying how really if you're in teaching, in training dogs, you always use the positive. You always praise any little steps in the direction of what you want. That's what he said. He said when I first started teaching,
Wait, it's the funniest thing hotline. We actually got a call from a fan in Germany.
In Germany.
Let's just
hold that thought. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah, let's just hear it. It's gonna be in FaceTime. So we're actually, hey Kirk.
Hey buddy.
It's Darrell and Ed. We're actually filming an episode for our YouTube segment right now. So you're on the show.
Why don't you turn the camera toward them so they can see him?
Can you see the camera?
Hey, greetings from Germany.
Listen, can we get back to you?
Yeah, have a great show. I can't wait to hear this one.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, we love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
That's awesome. So anyway, the funniest thing was what Jonathan, the instructor, told me was in the very beginning. It's like his friends would ask him to teach them, and he would just go, "Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that." And over time, he's learned. No, instead, he just teaches. He has these simple, positive things he teaches them that help them make simple steps in the direction of surfing. And it was exactly what we were saying. It's all about positive praise and praising people when they're moving in any steps. I mean, this is really for ourselves. Praising myself also anytime I make any step in the direction that I really want to be going.
And praising others transforms us for the better. Because look at it. It brings it brings positive relationships where that relationship would have never existed.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm reluctant to praise people. Like even people that I recall from a previous interaction, my mind goes, I don't want to. Like, you know, I'll see people in a group setting. I go, oh, God, he's here. I don't want to go talk to him.
Right.
But because we focus on the show, and this is why doing Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed is so helpful for us, because it makes me so hyper aware of what we're sharing with others that I really start applying it more and more.
Yes.
So the other day I was in a group setting and there was someone there that I thought, oh, this guy's always doing
right.
But then my mind goes, no, let something good be said. Find something and just, you know.
Yes.
And the part of me is like, no, and I stepped out boldly. And I complimented him. He had his dog at the you know, where we were with all the other people.
Yeah.
And I just started complimenting him about the dog. And then he lit up. It was like, same thing. He turned into a totally different person.
Right.
Even from the behavior that I didn't like that I was witnessed prior with him.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, he's a really nice guy. And now I look forward to seeing him.
Yes.
It's changed me so much.
That's the best
from the
part.
inside out. And now it's transformed a relationship that didn't exist. There was a crummy relationship, and now there's a wonderful one.
Yeah, it's another pocket of heaven on earth, you know, that you've brought into your own life for your own experience. And I like what you said, let something good be said. That's such a good affirmation, because we all, you know, we get tempted to grumble and tempted to judge, and it's such a simple thing. Just keep it simple. Say it to myself.
Yes.
Just let something good be said, and then just wait for it. It'll come. Something will pop up that can be said that is good, and from there, the whole situation turns around, like it did for me and like it did for you.
Yes, and I can't take credit for let something good be said. That's actually an Eric Butterworthism.
Fantastic.
And we just want to say we love doing these shows. Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed is not just on YouTube.
That's right.
We're also a radio show, online radio show on Unity Online Radio at unity.fm. You can find us on iTunes.
Actually, if you subscribe to us on iTunes, even the YouTube episodes, thanks to Blind Bobby Biggs, a.k.a. Ace in Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
All these will be converted into MP3s, and they'll be there on iTunes as well. And if you do subscribe to iTunes and you like the show, please make a comment. It helps us out. Helps the show get into the hands of a lot of other people
that would like the show.
Yeah. So, anything else?
No. This was a great show with an unexpected call from a fan in Germany.
That's right. We're here. We're still in the heart of Culver City, so to speak. But we are now overlooking. You can't really see in the background. You can see all of Los Angeles, including Hollywood, all the beaches from right here. It's a beautiful overlook. And this happens to be the same parking lot in which you and I pitched the first
episode to then the station manager, Denise Blake.
Yes.
Where we had our first conversation.
Yes.
To see if they would like us to be on the air on Unity FM.
Yeah, Unity Online Radio. That's www.unity.fm.
So thank you for being a part of Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed.
That's right. Darrell and Ed love you.
Yes, we do.
Message. Your message from Thank you for listening to The Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed. Listen in every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central as these unlikely saints share more real-life stories of how surrendering to divine order always leads to better-than-expected outcomes. This program has been made possible by God through automated monthly transfers from Darrell and Ed's credit cards.